Least common denominator, I wonder what it is. Sometimes you need a factor first. Let's factor that denominator on the left. So let's keep writing in the original color that this was written in. So GCF down here, x plus 2, and then x. Okay, when I'm dealing with least common denominators, I don't need to worry about numerators. I've not said that yet, but it's worth saying. So let's come over here and list all the denominator factors that I have. Yeah. Or I could just drag the screen around instead. Least common denominator is going to be x. There's a factor. X plus 2 is a factor. X is a factor. I don't need to put it again. Now, I don't know what this font is that I'm writing in, but it is about the neatest I've ever written a 2 in my life. I really like that, but let's move on. Okay, so if you're thinking, oh, I need another x here, so I need another x, or you might say, oh, instead I'll make it x squared. You would be finding a common denominator, but not the least common denominator, so don't do that. So here is the deal. It is not necessary to repeat a factor that happens in more than one denominator. So if I have an x here and an x here, you don't have to repeat it. If I have an x here and an x cubed here, then I do have to account for the highest exponent that's represented. So yeah, I would need an x cubed there. That doesn't happen in this case, so let's move on. All right, my least common denominator is that, exactly that, which is what I have here, only this is not written nearly as neatly as that too, which I may never be able to reproduce ever in my life by ever writing that again. I'm going to try though. Let's recreate that. Not too bad. Actually, that one might be better than that one. It's not a contest, but this one wins. All right, so we are going to change this denominator into the least common denominator. Give up on writing 2's neatly. To turn this into this, I needed to multiply by x plus 2. I already had a 2, so we have x plus 2. There it is. For the rest of this problem, all my 2's will be as fanciful as I can make them. Let's keep sliding up. What we're going to do is add these together. X plus 2. Quit. 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. Oh, that 2 wasn't very fancy. Oh well. All right. Let's keep going here. Let's see. 4 and 4 is going to give me 8. 2x, x, and x plus 2. And at this point, I can factor a 2 out of the numerator, which I will do. Stop it already. Just write a 2. X plus 2. Does anything cancel? No. Every now and then something will. It's rare, but this one does not. So slide back down. I was so distracted by the fanciness of the 2's that I did not really ever double check my work as I was going through. And yeah, we're good. Okay. As I was going through, which rhymes with 2. Here we go. It doesn't rhyme. I'm going to need to factor some denominators here. So let's start factoring. And that's going to give us quite a mammoth least common denominator, which is going to make this one a little more complicated. It's okay. That's what makes it fun. All right. Least common denominator here is x plus 5. Oh, sorry. Denominator here is x plus 5x minus 3, x minus 2. I'm looking ahead here. Trust me on that. You'll need those parentheses if you want a slight shortcut. It's not a shortcut so much as it is a step skipping. No fancy 3's on this one. Maybe I should try to make fancy 3's or 5's. Nah. X plus 5. Okay, least common denominator and parentheses in the numerator just because you'll need them later. Do it now or not, it's up to you. Least common denominator is every factor that is represented in your denominators. So x plus 5 times x minus 3. X plus 5 times x minus 3. And then, let's see, x minus 2 and x minus 3. X minus 2 and, oh, I already have an x minus 3. You don't need to repeat it. So if I wanted to turn this denominator into what is my least common denominator, and if I wanted to write my least common denominator a little more neatly, then I would put the parenthesis there instead of marking through the 3. Okay, what I'm going to do, excuse me, what I'm going to do is decide what I need to make this the least common denominator. And I need an x minus 2 to make that work. So x minus 2, x minus 2. Don't be like, I already have one. Yeah, now you have two of them now. Technically, this is x minus 2 all squared. To turn this into this, well, things are out of order, but that's okay. We're going to multiply by x plus 5, which means I need another one. If you want to just square the one you have, that's totally fine. Please don't cancel those. You'll be working backwards. All right. We might be tempted to multiply the denominators out. Let's not. What I am going to do instead is just write them, and it doesn't matter what order you write your factors. I'm getting choked up. What order you write your factors? Let's multiply this numerator together. That's going to give me x squared minus 4x plus 4. Trust me on that. And then minus, okay, common mistake again. We are about to multiply this together. We're doing a lot in our head at this point. We're going to multiply this together and get x squared, 10x, and 25. But I need to subtract all of that because I'm subtracting all of that. Okay? Here goes. Can I just skip a step? I'm going to. I'm tired of writing all these stupid steps. X plus 5, x minus 3, x minus fancy 2. Let's see. X squared minus x squared, they cancel. You're gone. Negative 4x minus 10x, negative 14x. 4 minus 25 is negative 29. Let's see if we can reduce this. Is there a GCF in the numerator? No, there's not. The numerator doesn't factor. The denominator is already factored, so there is no canceling that we can do. This is gross. You can factor a negative 1 out if you would like. It's not going to get you anywhere in terms of canceling, so let's not. All right. Am I good? I didn't mess up anywhere. Nope. Not there. All right, last one. I know you're disappointed. Let's do this instead. Let's factor. This one doesn't factor. There we go. So let's go ahead and jump ahead. You know you're going to need to anyway. May as well. And least common denominator is every factor that you see in your denominator. So least common denominator is, let's see, x minus 5 and x plus 2. Lovely twos. And so x minus 5, x plus 2. This has all the denominator it needs. This one needs an x plus 2. We'll make it green. X plus 2, x plus 2. We have all the denominators we need to correspond, to match up, to subtract, I'm trying to say. X minus 5, x plus 2. Okay, 5x plus 1, didn't need those parentheses. Minus, let's go ahead and distribute. We're going to distribute, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. Negative x. Just saying. So negative x times x is negative x squared. Negative x times 2 is negative 2x. And then we will put these together. Huh. Yeah. This one's going to be weird. Numerator, negative x squared plus 3x plus 1 over x minus 5, x plus 2. Feel free to stop here because nothing's going to reduce. I'm just saying, nothing's going to reduce. But what I do want to do is try to factor if I can, because I'm looking ahead, I know it doesn't. So this is your final answer. But if you wanted to go further, you can factor out a negative 1. And then you'd have your same denominator, x minus 5, x plus 2. I'm just showing you how it doesn't reduce. And then I would say I need two numbers that multiply to give me negative 1. 1 times negative 1. I need to add or combine to give me a negative 3. That's not going to happen. This doesn't factor. I'm sorry. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So nothing's going to reduce. Either one of those is going to be fine.